Black magic, God, Holy Ghost, Lord, orgasmic, order more acid, more than 4 tablets, portal door passage, born before mortal war happened. We were lords way before we were poor black men. Now we like Catherine, only having 4 Jacksons. Swore to pure magic, slaughter 4 dragons. Heat like corduroy fabric, door-to-door tactics. Easy like tortoise on boarded floor backspins. Rapping like the man that created it, and I just play with it. Shine radiant, raising it, sunbathing it. Voice tone sharper than razor tip when I aim it at megaliths, make them raise and lift. You can't relate to this, even if you paint a pic of me and you and somehow make the faces switch. I like to babysit, throne made of baby skin, donated by natives that procreate in sin. They gon' need to raise the rim, they gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain. Put the globe on my middle finger and made it spin. They gon' need to raise the rim, they gon' need the cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain. Even Damien and Satan is afraid of him. I heard the devil's Tasmanian. Raps made them spin fast, vast, hailing winds. Abstract radiance. Underneath my crack cranium is gas radium. Hash cascadian, cash cascading in. At the end of the movie, the crack baby wins. Pack track stadiums, clap, clap, praising him. Tap that waitress, have crack.
Peace, family. Welcome back to another episode, Underground Railroad Productions. This your host, Brother Rich. Back with the living legend, Professor Griff. Welcome back, my brother.
It's always a pleasure to be back, Brother Rich, after this long hiatus, man.
Indeed. We had some technical difficulties last week. We're going to get back up and running on the video.
Yeah.
We just been real busy with some personal things, doing, a lot of different ventures and stuff like that. Hey, Griff, I want to ask you, how's the documentary coming along?
It's coming along, it's coming along drudgingly slow because the finances didn't come through, so what I had to actually do is I had to actually call in some favors to take care of some people on the back end to get some of the things done. So, yeah, it's slow. The support that I was looking for as far as the resources are concerned financially didn't come through at all, man. Like, not at all. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just had to call in some favors and just, I know a couple of people with that could help me make some moves to get some things done. So that's what I decided to do. So it's going to take me a lot longer than expected. Yeah.
Indeed.
But not giving up on it, just making it happen the best way I know how. It's just going to take me a little bit longer. That's all.
Right. Well, we definitely look forward to that. I also want to tell the family that y'all just did the I know you and Red and who else was down? Y'all just did like the Fear of a Black Planet Part 2, I think, right?
Yeah, me, Red Pill, and Blue Pill. We did the Fear of a Black Planet
right.
Part 2. Yeah, down on the west end of the ATL.
Yeah, I heard that was off the hook. I heard that was.
That was so much so that the people wanted some more. So Red and Blue Pill did the next day without me, and people still came out. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good, man. Your brother's been holding it down for years. I remember y'all did the first one. It was probably about 8 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, about 8 years ago. Yep.
Yeah, so y'all been holding it down for a while.
Yeah.
I want to tell the people, don't forget June 3rd. Actually, Professor Griff, we got a big metaphysical lineup. We got Dr. Phil Valentine, Brother Panic, and Aseer The Duke. They're coming to New York June 3rd to Brooklyn, New York, family, and the information will be in the description bar. So make sure as far as the live stream and ticket information. So make sure y'all come out for that, man. It's going to be off the hook, guaranteed.
Yep. Right. I just want to let the people know also the reason why we've taken so long to get back on this thing is June 15th, I'm launching the Serious Minds Network. I did the radio, I did the RNTV. Now I'm doing the network where I'm revamping my thing on a subscription basis only. So yeah, people have to kind of subscribe in order to hear what I'm doing on a weekly, matter of fact, weekly basis, man. I'm putting stuff up. I had to do it that way, brother, just to cut down on the trolls and the bots and the rest of these cats coming on disrupting things.
Right.
So now if they want to troll, they have to troll for a price. They got to pay the troll, man. For real, bro. Critical. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to start things off this week, Professor Griff. You've been in the entertainment industry. You've been doing your thing since the 80s with Public Enemy, and you've seen this thing called hip-hop going so many...
Hold on, Brother Rich. I was a DJ in the 70s, bro. I was DJ Griff. Come on now. I was a DJ in high school, man. Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
All right, but gang.
Well, you've seen this music thing take so many different turns and go in so many different directions. You know, we in a era where a lot of the hip-hop artists, they rap about depression now and suicide, and they rap about being on drugs and opioids and, Percocets and, things, liquid heroin and things like that. So you see it go in so many different directions. You've seen the rappers wear dresses now and stuff like that. Places you probably thought it would never go. So I seen this video Saturday night from Childish Gambino. For those that know him, Donald Glover is his real name. He actually had one of the biggest songs last year, Stay Woke. What was the name of the movie that we
Get Out.
Get Out, yeah. It was the lead song on Get Out, and if you like the movie, if you've seen the movie, you definitely heard the song. So the brother's definitely talented, sings, raps, dances, do all of that. But this video here, man, he has a video called This Is America. And it's so layered with symbolism. I said, wow, I haven't seen a video, Griff, this good in a while, in a very, very long time, Professor.
Yeah.
So I said, this is worth me having a deep conversation with Professor. What was the name of that book you had, Professor Griff? Hip Hop what? It was
The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop?
Yeah, Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop. It reminded me of some of the things you said in the book. But I want to just to get right into it. The video, Professor Griff, man. Tell me your opinion straight off the bat, man. What you thought about the video, my brother?
Wow, as a matter of fact, I was in the shower when when my wife brought it to my attention. She was like, "Check this out, man." I'm like, "What's up?" So I watched it and I was like, "Wow, the contrast between art imitating life and life imitating art was there." The whole idea of a solid song complemented by a solid video was just off the chain. I was having conversations with different people, and they kept saying that Kanye West is a genius. Kanye West is a genius. And I said, no, name me 3 geniuses in our lifetime. So when they started talking about Stevie Wonder and Prince and blah, 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 I'm like, well, you can't compare Kanye West to them. You understand what I'm saying? So tonight, I had the pleasure of calling a couple of those brothers back and letting them know that video by Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, that's borderline genius. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, that is something to the degree at the time that we did our thing, as far as Public Enemy is concerned. That's as close as that can come. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a big compliment.
Yo, he did the damn thing for real. Shock value for your ass, for real, man. getting you drawn in, waiting for the next thing to happen. Just the whole idea of tribal dancing. Mm-hmm. The whole idea of tribal dancing is actually hip-hop dancing, and it's the same thing. To show that and contrast that with violence going on in the background, wow. Come on, man. Yeah.
Well, that was one of the big talking points of the video. A lot of people were like, the dancing, we all had to watch the video so many times because a lot of people said they were distracted by the dancing and they didn't notice all the violence that was going on in the background. Right. So what I want to ask you, Professor Griff, to start out with is like there's just so many directions I could go in with this video. But it's black entertainment. Like he's doing all the viral dance moves. He's doing some of the African dance moves. He's doing some of the hip hop dance moves. He's covering a wide variety of popular dance moves. And I want to ask you, is black entertainment, black dance and black entertainment, is it a distraction from the real problems plaguing America? Or is it an opportunity, Professor Griff, for us to get our mind off the craziness of the world and recharge and celebrate our genius? Because we come up with something new every year. We're in tune with the universe that we can't help but dance. So what do you look at it as, Professor Griff?
No, I think we don't need to get it confused. Black people, we're gonna celebrate and we're gonna dance regardless. Yeah. Regardless of what is going on. That's just a part of who and what we are as a people. That's the reason why we celebrate the way we do, simply because death is a continuation of life and vice versa. And I know people probably have to put that last sentence under the microscope in order to understand it. I view death as a part of life. It's a continuum. You understand what I'm saying? My grandmother passed away when my child was born. It's the way I look at it. I celebrated when my first child was born, Takia Khalid Shah. I celebrated when my grandma left this earthly plane. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to celebrate regardless. So I think it's not a distraction, Brother Rich. It just goes part and parcel, hand in hand, I should say, to who and what we are as a people. Now, it depends on the degree of what we're celebrating. My daughter, Naila, graduates from college this Saturday. But my nephew just got out of jail. Which one should we celebrate, Brother Rich? Brother Rich. Hold on.
Griff, you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, my fault. Yeah, I was talking to you. I pressed mute by accident. I was talking to you. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Yeah, my fault.
Which one should we celebrate? My daughter graduating?
The graduation, my brother, the graduation.
Oh, okay. See, but we're not going to overlook the fact that he just did a bid and he's coming home and now he's free. You understand what I'm saying? Or even on the plantation, Brother Rich, where we were getting hunted down and tracked down and lynched and murdered, like Childish Gambino was tracked down and hunted down by that lynch mob at the end of the video. Mm-hmm. Same thing, just two different times. Same people, same racism, white supremacy, same thing. But nonetheless, Brother Rich, on the plantation, we celebrated, did we not?
Yes.
So we're gonna party, dance, and bullshit regardless. We're gonna celebrate, if I can put it that way. We're gonna party regardless, man. It's just part of who and what we are as a people. It's just that when we have parties now, we have to party with a purpose, and that's to be a revolutionary party, as far as I'm concerned. But go on.
I mean, is that a good trait for people to have, man? I mean, you see the memes. There's memes like, when it rains, don't just make it through the rain, dance through the rain. And as a people, we literally did that. Like, if this period in America where we were subjugated to Jim Crow, slavery, lynching, everything that we're going through, we literally been dancing through the quote-unquote rain of oppression. So, I mean, is that a good quality? Because some people may say that's what kept us in it so long. Or Kanye might say that's, it's a choice. Like he said, slavery was a choice.
That's cool. Anyway, I think, Brother Rich, to answer that question very forthrightly, I think we have to accept the fact that if it was not for that tension release, if it was not for the fact that we got a chance to go out and party and just let it off and get it off of us and let it loose sometimes, I think we'd be in a worse condition, Brother Rich. Mm-hmm. I think we'd be in a worse condition. And like I said, some of us are taking the party to the extreme. You understand what I'm saying? And we don't know how to reel it back in order to get serious when we need to get serious. But for the most part, as far as the collective group of us, yeah, man, party and help us through this thing, man.
Mm. You know, I think one confusing part, you know, in the video, one of the things you see is that, you know, how much the black entertainment is appreciated, and the people dancing and everything. A lot of people find it hard to understand why black entertainment is appreciated by society, but black lives are not. So if they're, you know, if they see, you know, Hillary Clinton do the nay-nay or whatever the most popular move is, they say, oh, that's a good white person right there, man. You see that white person bust that move? Oh, yo, that white person know who LeBron James is. Oh, that's good so-and-so. Oh, man, they not racist. And we automatically associate their knowledge of our culture with them not being racist. But we're coming to realize more and more that I guess sometimes the two don't seem to be related, because sometimes they say hip-hop has caused people to not be racist, I guess, and to understand hip-hop our culture more. But talk to me about appreciating black entertainment but not appreciating black lives, Professor Griff, because some people don't get it.
Well, Brother Rich, we've always had the theft of black and African culture ever since we came in contact with them. Way before we were brought to America. You understand what I'm saying? So the theft of black culture, African consciousness, black consciousness, everything that we do, Black Dot said they take the lowest form of what's the aspects of the culture and give it the highest praise, and give it the most exposure, they give it the most airtime. And we have to understand that particular dynamic. But you see, Brother Rich, that's their pass in the code word in. Do the gesture, do the jigaboo, learn the language, all right? Make the people think that you are part of them, and then win them over. And then and at that point, you're able to rule them. Bill Clinton on the Arsenio Hall show playing the saxophone, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost like blackface, man. You understand what I'm saying? So, but because we look at these people, and instead of them appropriating the culture, which it is, call it for what it is, we look at them as part of being part of the culture and giving the culture praise so they can be accepted by us. And then they turn around and you see and you know what the Clintons have done to black people on a massive scale. So we need to kind of deal with it as such, plain and simple. We could never, Jewish people would never allow us to come take aspects of their culture and feed it back to them and put a price on it, feed it back to them just to be accepted into the Jewish race and Jewish culture. I didn't mean to say race. I know better than that. The Jewish culture, and for them to accept us. Nah, it'll never happen in the reverse. They packaged our culture and sold it back to us, Brother Rich.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is why we have the slavery movies.
Right. Yeah.
Regardless of how you look at it, we know the culture.
Mm-hmm.
They package it, put it in a movie, put a price tag on it, and made us pay the ticket price to go see our own culture, our own history. But go on.
I think one of the extremely interesting things about this song and this video is, it goes from, it's like an emotional roller coaster ride. It goes from this happy major mode, like, it's a choral singing, and I think he's saying, we just want to party right. Just for you, or something like that, and it's like a real happy tone. And then it just jumps into this dark trap sound, like real dark trap tribal sound. And that's when he goes into "This is America, don't get you slipping up," or and there was one scene where after the happy tribal sound, the happy major sound, they had like a choir singing, a church choir, and before it went into the trap sound, that dark sound, he gunned them all down, shot them, killed them all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it made me think about the Charleston thing, Dylan Roof. That's what I thought about immediately when I see, because that's the closest reference point I have to, people in the church being gunned down like that.
Right.
I think about us and our spirituality, how happy they are and how happy we are in church when we're praising God. And no matter what we're going through in life, we always believe Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. Now, he's going to save us, and he got a plan for us. The black experience and spiritual experience in America, Professor Griff, has it made us weak? Has it made us soft? Because the people that was in that church, they forgave Dylan Roof before he even said sorry. I mean, and before the media could ask him something, we forgive him. We forgive him. We like what the fuck already? Goddamn.
Right. He even asked. Right.
Are we naturally like this? Like you said, we naturally dance. Are we naturally just soft, or is this something that you feel religion has made us just a soft people that don't really want to engage in violence?
I think it's both sides of the coin, Brother Rich. I think we're all forgiving. We're the prayingest people on the planet, and we're the most subjugated to other people's gods. I think we're the most kindest, but we get taken advantage of the most, collectively speaking. We're the most giving, we're the most trusting, but we don't trust one another. So you're absolutely correct in what you're proposing here. The fact that has this life in America, this black life in America, now that we've gotten through certain rough periods in America, has it made us soft? Has the fact that we can purchase and buy and bask in some of their wealth, now that we've traded our God and our ancestors for their money, now that we've attended the best schools, now that we've sat and laid our black asses in the White House, in the bed in the White House, now that we've been mayors of every major city, now that we're able to buy and we're the top of every sports they allow us in, I'm saying to you that life, we've been robbed and spoiled. That life we've lived in America not only made us soft, Brother Rich, but it's made us other than who and what we are as a people. So when someone or someone's rise up and put their work in, we look at them as though they're crazy. Mm-hmm. Why is Professor Griff and Brother Rich saying that? We got it good in America. See, but that's that house nigga, field nigga syndrome that Malcolm gave us. That's that identifying with your slave master's children. And we need to understand this particular dynamic and deal with it for what it truly is. America has blinded us so much so that a lot of us are walking around and calling ourselves American. And we're forgetting about who and what we are. And you saw it happening in culture and in popular culture. I remember brothers used to wear crosses in the videos with the Jesus pieces, remember? You would almost think that they forgot the gods that we worship. So we have to understand it for what it really is, Brother Rich. We've been robbed and spoiled. We've been taken out of the knowledge of who and what we are as a people. It almost seems like the fight has been beat out of us. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost so much so now that we see ourselves as not beneficiaries of reparations. We see ourselves now identifying with the slave master's children to the point where they may ask us to pay ourselves back reparations. Since you're American, help us pay that back. I was like, damn. I'm hearing this conversation. I'm like, wait a minute, are you that much an American? To the point where you forgot what happened to your people? Everyone should know the history of our people coming out of Africa into America, like the back of our hands. So we'll never forget.
Indeed, man. One of the other things I noticed in a video was that the guns, how delicately the guns were treated. You know, the human.
Right.
After he shot the dude in the back of the head, they dragged the body away. It made me think about, I believe it was, it might have been Mike Brown or Trayvon Martin. I forget how the brother that they left the body on the street for hours. The body was just laying there.
Mike Brown,
right. And the total disregard for black bodies, but yet, like in the video, they wrapped the gun up. Could you talk to me about what do you think that meant? Or it's obvious what it meant, but could you talk to me about what you thought about that part of the video?
What I thought about that part was the fact that the Second Amendment that they praise in America and the right to bear arms is a lot more important than black life.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea of consuming and having this consumer's appetite for violence is paramount. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're an American, so I have rights. Well, what are your rights? I could take advantage of the Second Amendment like any other red-blood American. But when you do, and the cop pull you over and you come to the car and you tell him you have a license for it, he still shoots you down.
Mm-hmm.
So the contrast now between the culture and the counterculture was displayed masterfully in that video. The fact that he shot the person and he turned the gun over and put it in a red cloth, folded it up and carried it away like it was, like he was about to put it on display.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of him saying that he has to have an AK because he don't want to get caught slipping, it speaks volumes. The whole idea of the fact that you have to carry a gun because you're trapped. Well, how did they display that in the video? They displayed that by the whole idea of everything from dancing and being happy and partying to violence is all trapped in a warehouse, and everyone's a barcode. You're just a black man. You're just a barcode. So the whole significance of and just decoding it a little, it being done in a warehouse. Everyone was warehoused. Whether you partying, you happy, whether you a rat on Sunday afternoon chasing the cheese in the warehouse, nonetheless, everyone's warehouse, including the police. So we have to understand that particular scene and how it's played out. When you talk about the Second Amendment, you're talking about the whole idea of the Belko experiment. You're talking about the movie Purge, which was played out in that also. So yet, even when the Purge go down, black people are going to be partying and bullshit. At the time in America, that people like Kanye West is unraveling, and laws and rights and everything are being taken away from black people, you still see black people partying in America. The whole idea of you gunning people down with an AK-47 in a video after what happened in Charleston and other places is bold and in your face. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's a mirror that's being held up to white America. Let white America know, this is you. This is America. Plain and simple. And it seems like every single time one of the Manchurian candidates who's under a mind control experiment, I'm talking about Kanye West, every time this happens, it seems like we have to come back stronger and harder. And I think he did this by showing America exactly how we view America through this sharp cultural lens that we view America through. You understand what I'm saying? It's letting you know that even at the beginning of the video, we're partying and we have tribal dancing going on, and it's interrupted by now you kidnapping us and warehousing us and bringing us to America, and this is how we have to view you, America, because this is what it is. We see you putting hoods over America and other people that don't agree with you, America, and blowing their brains out. The mere fact that you've taken over America using the gun, the mere fact that you've colonized people using the gun, this is what it was showing, and it evolved from a handgun to an AK-47. So much so, on a subliminal scale, you've seen Death riding a white horse in the video.
Yeah.
And most people didn't pick it up because they're watching the dancing. We're too caught up in our culture and who and what we are. So much so that we rather not deal with the violence. We rather deal with it at the forefront of the video, which is the dancing, the trap music. But Death rides a white horse right on through the video. And a lot of people didn't pick it up.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until like the third time watching the video. I was like, wow. I just kept learning something more new each time. So
yeah, but did you see where the white horse came from? It went right past the police.
I didn't know. Yeah.
The contrast between the white horse and the cops speaks volumes in and of itself also. You understand what I'm saying? It's letting you know, Brother Rich, that the overseer is the officer. and all of them ride the white horse, which is death. In the scripture, death rode the white horse. And as William Cooper laid it out in his book, Behold the Pale Horse, all of us should have read that book by now. So what is Childish Gambino saying by putting these images in here and meshing it, two cultures meshing together, coming together, not bumping heads, working parallel with one another, the culture of violence and the culture of hip-hop. What is he saying?
Indeed.
They called him a triple threat. So by the time he ends up on Saturday Night Live, they called him a triple threat. He says, no, I'm just a threat, which is deep in and of itself. You're a threat in America. You may end up with a white woman on a TV show, in the sunken place. That's real. That's very real. As a matter of fact, Brother Rich, that's too real. So I suggest we read Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper.
Definitely classic book.
No, very, very classic. I mean, classic to the point where he spelled out some things in the book that was very direct. How they would bring guns and drugs into the black community, and knowing that aspects of who and what we are is not civilized, so much so that we would end up using the guns and drugs to kill one another. It's right there in the book, and we would only take the time to read it. But as they always say, if you want to hide something from black people, just put it in the book. But they didn't think some of us would read the books, Brother Rich, and bring America and call America to task and call America to the carpet. So much so that we would hold up a mirror, like I said, and show America for who America really is.
In a part of the song toward the end, part of the lyrics, Childish Gambino says, "This is a selling." He was talking about the cell phone. Then he says that's a tool. And there's a scene where there's a lot of kids. The kids had on uniforms and they was recording what was going on his cell phones.
Right.
In terms of our experience in this country, Professor Griff, Black America, is the cell phone? Would you say the cell phone is one of the things that changed the course of history? And I say that, what I mean is that the camera on his cell phone, when Obama was in office and a lot of these videos started surfacing of the police brutality, that's been going on for years and years and years, and a lot of people just act like we were just exaggerating, we were conspiracy theorists, we were race baiting. They got all types of names for when you just tell the truth about what's going on. But when these videos started to surface, that's when Black Lives Matter erupted. We got the Colin Kaepernick protests out of that, because people started to see, like, wow, this shit goes on. Like, wow, man, like, this is crazy what's going on. What would you say about the cell phone, the camera cell phone, in the last decade? What has it done for Black America, Professor Griff?
Well, we need to understand something, Brother Rich. For 13 years now, I've been traveling with the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. This year, Brother Rich, we rolled out a new exhibit called 68. And we went over everything that happened in 1968. So to make a long story short, and a short story shorter, in 1968, Brother Rich, white Americans saw Vietnamese soldiers getting their heads blown off, getting shot down in the street by white service members, people that was in the Army and the Marines and in the service. They changed America from that day forward, because now the TV was broadcasting now what was going on the front lines in an actual war that the people were told wasn't a war at all. And then after America lost the war in Vietnam and had to come home with her tail between her legs, the truth had to be told, and it was told on national television. The cell phone, dealing with this modern technology, the cell phone has modernized the way we actually tell the truth, and to get the masses of the people across the globe to finally believe black people, because now we have it on film. And then guess what, Brother Rich? They still didn't believe us. So you're absolutely correct. The cell phone modernized the way we told our story, and will forever modernize the way we tell our story. But cell phone actually did us a disservice also, because now it's the cell phone and the way we communicate with one another that caused us to have this disconnect with one another. So much so that we may get the news. We may get when Tay-Tay was shot down. Or we may get it when Man was arrested. All right, but it's doing us a disservice in the end. And I think we need to understand it. If we use these $500 computers that we keep in our pockets called cell phones in the way we need to use them, I think we can balance out the scale, Brother Rich. And that's just my take on it. It's a blessing and a curse. It's done a lot of good, and it's done a lot of damage. It hasn't quelled the violence that white people perpetrate on black people. Hell, they spent $1 billion on body cams that they just turn off when they want to kill black people. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What if they enact laws, Brother Rich, that say that you can't film police officers? What if they make it a local matter for each state that you can't film police officers? You're obstructing justice when you film police officers. There goes the whole idea of getting justice using a cell phone, but the cell phone has brought a degree of justice. But even when we used it and we told the truth and we had it on film, we were still wrong. We were still liars. We were still heathens. We were still animals, and they still shot us down.
I want to ask you, Professor Griff. I think I got one more question for you, Professor Griff. I want to ask you. Now, this video goes over so much going on in America at this time. They say that he did the I'm not sure. They said in the beginning he was doing like he was posing like the Jim Crow caricature. I'm not exactly sure, but I definitely got to look into that. But just, you referenced book like Behold the Pale Horse and everything that we talked about. There's a segment of our people that think that we should not focus on history. We should not focus on slavery. We should focus on the future. We should, to create a better future, we have to focus on, we can't be stuck in the past. Do you think this video or this mindset or just revisiting the Jim Crow era, well, I don't want to say revisiting like, it left or something like that, but do you think this video focuses, and we tend to focus too much on oppression? Because you could have focused on what's good in the video, or you could focus on what's bad in the video. You could have focused on the dancing and the happiness, because there was two sides. So do you think that we need to focus on the future and not focus on, the oppression of black people, should I say, the slavery and all that other stuff, like we've been hearing Kanye and Candace Owens and everybody say, Professor Griff?
Well, why is it that we always have to decide on which one we're going to focus on? Why is it always two extremes?
Right.
Why can't the third time I watched the video, I danced. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I guess somebody, real quick, somebody would say, well, Professor Griff, you're contradicting yourself. Some people feel like a hypocrite if they feel like they have to choose a side. I got to either be happy or sad. I can't dance and be angry at the same time. So I guess that's the psychology that people look at it through, Professor Griff.
Well, my thing is this. I've talked about the degree of emotions that we deal with and the set of emotions that we have been accustomed to using in America. There's a wide range of emotions that we don't even use. I celebrated and danced because the beat was dope. He's an artist. He's doing the damn thing. He's a black man putting it down. Now, he's not the epitome of what I think black men should be. Black fist in the air, black beret on, black uniform, RBG'd out. You understand? Keep their cloth down. I don't think he's ever going to do that. You understand what I'm saying? But as an artist, like I've said many times on this platform, As an artist, I'll celebrate with an artist if he's elevating the people. And that, I believe, he's doing. But now, when it came time for me to take the video serious and look into the song and piece it apart and decode it and all this other kind of stuff, I lent that emotion to that particular energy. I approached it that way. Mm-hmm. If I was in a spot where that song came on, would I dance to it? Probably so. I'm not saying, because if I dance to it, that don't mean I'm negating everything else about the video and the song that's serious. I'm not. I understand it. The reason why I'm dancing and celebrating is because it's serious. Mm-hmm. The reason why I'm dancing is because he started the video off drawing attention to the whole idea that this is America, and America was established using the gun, and we could study the whole idea of Christopher Columbus, or Christopher Colon, which they call Christopher Columbus, and how he established America. William Cooper said in his book, Behold the Pale Horse, the government encouraged the manufacture and importation of military firearms for criminal use. This is intended to foster a feeling of insecurity, which would lead the American people to voluntarily disarm themselves by passing laws against firearms. This is what's going on today, Brother Rich. Mm-hmm. Using drugs and hypnosis on mental patients in a process called Orion, the CIA inculcated the desire in these people to open fire on schoolyards and thus inflame the anti-gun lobby. This plan was well underway, and so far it is working perfectly. Behold the Pale Horse, Milton William Cooper, 1991. Since 1991, you tell me how many school shootings we've had and church shootings. Come on, bro. Yeah. It is working perfectly. It is working perfectly. That's directly from his book. So we need to understand a particular dynamic why Professor Griff danced the third time he watched the video. Because I understand. I said, this is good. People are going to get this. And already he has 20 million views. Yeah. I said, that's good. People need to get it. People need to get it in this way. This is probably one of the best ways. KRS-One said it. It's edutainment. You educate them while you're entertaining them. Mm-hmm. This is it. This is edutainment at its finest. Mm. And I take my hat off to the brother. Now, all the other negative things I've read about the brother and saw, people putting up, rallying behind him because he's a black man and he's the epitome of this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. They start putting pictures up of his white wife and white girlfriend and mixed children, and they went into colorism, and it's like, come on. I'm not saying it's not a conversation. It is a conversation. It's definitely a conversation.
Is it something that takes away from the greatness of the video, that should take away from it, you think?
I think it's a serious dichotomy. I think it's a serious dynamic that a lot of times the people that bring us these kind of messages all have white women. I didn't say, let me retract that. Not all. Some have white women. I don't want to say all. Some have white women. When you look at the Jordan Peele, right, and other people.
The guy from the Nat Turner movie.
Right. It's like, wow. Yeah. So we have to look at this particular dynamic. And then when the next one steps out from the ranks that does something on this scale, will we be looking at them kind of funny? Or will we go right to the computer and see and do the background on them?
Interesting, man. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
Man. Well, it's good to... Yeah.
They said he auditioned for Saturday Night Live several times, and they didn't accept it. Why roll out the red carpet now? Mm. Were you not white/black enough? Or were you not black/white enough? Or were you not talented enough to be on Saturday Night Live? And now you're hosting it. You're the musical guest, and you're hosting it. Wow. Even on that level, it's deep.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, his grandmama said, "Black man, get your money." Did it not?
And on that note, we're going to close it out, man. It's good to get the ball rolling with you again, Professor Griff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like I said, we're gonna, we're gonna continue to make improvements. Professor Griff got some big moves coming up. Got some big things that's happening. I want you to show support to the brother and subscribe to his subscription-based service and support those who've been supporting you for so long. So, I look forward to you rolling that out, Professor Griff. But we'll be back next week. We're going to be back hopefully on a weekly schedule, family.
Right.
And we'll be back next week. I guess we'll do videos some weeks we'll do phones, but we'll
cool.
mix it up. But it's going to be good. We're going to have participation from the phone calls and everything. But
right.
Leave the people with your contact information, man. I haven't heard you say your phone number in so long.
I know, right?
678-555.
Yeah, I just want to let people know they can reach me at 678-557-2919 for any questions, comments, or just want to touch bases. And like Brother Rich said, continue to support those of us that are bringing you the news firsthand, whether it's from an occultic perspective, a metaphysical perspective, esoteric perspective, or just right out straight up in your face perspective, or a hood perspective. Nonetheless, we're the ones on the front lines bringing you the news, and we need your support. I want to thank everyone that came out to my wife's class teaching the womb wellness, nourishing the goddess within. I want to thank everybody for supporting the Oculus film. Although I had to push the release date back, I still want to thank the people that have donated, whether you donated $1 or your time or your energy, or whether you donated $100. I really admire the fact that you stepped up when the brother asked you to step up. I definitely will not let you down. Definitely. Once again, my phone number is 678-557-2919. My email address is seriousmindinfo@gmail.com. Of course, my website is www.professorgriff.me. I look forward to next time we're on the airways like this, Brother Rich, and I'll definitely see you next week. We got to cover this Bill Cosby and this Kanye West thing, man, for real.
Definitely, man. Shit, we might need to do 2 episodes this week, man. We might
exactly.
Back,
bro, I'm up for it. Yeah, no, hit me up on Thursday. Let's make it happen.
We might do that one live if we do that Thursday.
Okay, cool. But I got to let the people know that this Wednesday I'm doing the emergency survival class again this Wednesday, and then I'm going to do it 2 weeks from now. All right, so we need emergency survival instructions right now, Brother Rich, because it's definitely going down. Listen, Brother Rich, there is a new strand of the AIDS virus. They just announced it. It's the cousin to HIV, they call it.
Wow.
All right. So people, you better strap up, strap down, do whatever you need to do. Restrain, do whatever else you need to do. But they're putting this chemical and biological warfare among us now. All right. So just be mindful. All right.
On that note, family, this is Brother Rich. Make sure you show support. Donate via PayPal or sign up to be a Patreon member for exclusive videos. I haven't uploaded in a while. I got a video from Red Pill called The Attention Economy. So all the Patreon members, that's the next video coming, The Attention Economy by Red Pill. So stay tuned for that. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is Brother Rich. Stay in tune. June 3rd, the Metaphysical Conference, Gathering of the Masters.
Brother Rich, can I say one last thing?
Yeah.
On the 27th of May in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm doing a lecture that I'm putting together. It's called hashtag WTF, hashtag what the fuck. I think I need to have an all-out open conversation with our people and just let them know some of the ridiculous shit that's out there that we're falling for. You understand what I'm saying? And we're falling into that social media trap yet again, although we already know what it's about. But anyway, May 27th, just hit me up, 2919, May 27th, Sunday in Atlanta, Georgia, on the West End. All right, at Yoga Skills Studios. Yoga Skills Studios, Sunday, May 27th. What the fuck?
And on that note, family, we're going to see you either later on in the week or next week, but we signing out, family. Peace.
Peace.
Black magic, God, Holy Ghost, Lord, orgasmic, order more acid, more than 4 tablets, portal door passage, born before mortal war happened. We were lords way before we were poor black men. Now we like Catherine, only having 4 Jacksons. Swore to pure magic, slaughter 4 dragons. Heat like corduroy fabric, door-to-door tactics. Easy like tortoise on boarded floor backspins. Rapping like the man that created it, and I just play with it. Shine radiant, raising it, sunbathing it. Voice tone sharper than razor tip when I aim it at megaliths, make them raise and lift. You can't relate to this, even if you paint a pic of me and you and somehow make the faces switch. I like to babysit, throne made of baby skin, donated by natives that procreate in sin. They gon' need to raise the rim, they gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain. Put the globe on my middle finger and made it spin. They gon' need to raise the rim, they gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain. Even Damien and Satan is afraid of him. I heard the devil's Tasmanian. Raps made them spin fast, vast, hailing winds. Abstract radiance. Underneath my crack cranium is gas radium. Hash Cascadian, cash cascading in. At the end of the movie, the crack baby wins. Pack track stadiums, clap, clap, praising him. Tap that waitress, have crack, crack.